Welcome to our 5 on 5. Please be joined in studio today by Congressman Cliff Bentz. Congressman, thank you for taking the time and dropping by the studios today.
It's great to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
So lots of fires burning on federal forest land this month, pretty much all around us. Now the Bootleg Fire, as you know, 227,000 acres, 7% containment, that one in the Fremont-Wainema National Forest in Klamath County. Have you spoken with anyone over there? What's going on?
Well, actually, I've spoken with my staff 2 or 3 times a day since that fire started, primarily in the last couple of days in regard to the shortage of Jet A fuel and the need for that fuel to help helicopters and planes and the rest get around the fire. So we've been front and center on that fire.
And I know you were at the air tanker base here in Medford today. Is it helping with the Bootleg Fire?
Well, it's not helping that I heard, but we weren't talking about that really. We were talking about how well prepared you folks are in this basin and in your forest. So we focused primarily on that. Although we did hear that the Western United States and Oregon is now at Category 5 or Level 5, and this is not good news because it means we don't have assets sitting along side ready to be thrown at the next fire. So we're in a dangerous situation across the state of Oregon, across the Western United States. Yeah,
I understand that the Rogue River Siskiyou National Forest officials said that. Can you speak more to that? It's not familiar to me. Category 5, that means there are no more resources available to call in for assistance. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair to say. And I think the way I understood it is that should there be another serious fire, then everyone would join together to try to cobble up appropriate response, and there are a few teams here and a few teams there, but the real answer is if we had another serious set of fires start, we're in trouble.
Was there anything else discussed with those Rogue River Siskiyou National Forest officials here in Medford today?
Sure, we talked about coordination, and I asked how well are you all getting along? Is the state working closely with the federal government, with the county folks? And the answer was an unequivocal yes. Everyone is happy with each other, which is really good news. And so that was discussed. We also talked about what they might need when it comes to other types of improvements, and some work could be done on the airstrips around your facilities here. So we'll be looking into that.
Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Much more with the Congressman in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Southern Oregon Congressman Cliff Bentz. Congressman, the drought situation, of course, in Southern Oregon is something you're well familiar with. And you've been attempting to get farmers federal assistance in the Klamath Basin, the Klamath Project specifically. I know the Bureau of Reclamation is providing $15 million to farmers for some aid. Where does your proposal stand at the congressional level?
Right, well, I've joined with Congressman Doug LaMalfa out of Northern California to put together a bill that started out at, as he crafted it, $57 million, and it was allocated among a number of different groups. I reached out to the Yurok tribe and the Klamath tribe and other interest groups and said, hey, what do you need in this bill to hold yourself harmless from this horrible drought? And we've been waiting for those numbers to come in, and they are coming in. So once we have all of them, then we'll go back to the drawing board and try to make sure the bill is complete. We also, I'm very happy to report that we've been offered a hearing on that bill in my committee, the Natural Resource Committee, by Jared Huffman, the chairman. And this is very good news, and we're looking forward to having that hearing and hopefully moving that bill through the process.
And certainly the Klamath Project at the Klamath County isn't the only one, as we of course know, that's dealing with drought right now. How is that getting more Democratic support? Is that getting people across the aisle? Because drought certainly doesn't care about partisan politics. Is that something that can continue to grow the support for something like that?
Well, I hope so, and I think the fact that the tribes are joining us is very helpful in that regard. But I also want to point out that the Klamath is not the only place in Oregon, or for that matter, the nation suffering from drought. There are 70 million people suffering from drought across the rest of the United States. And Doug and I appeared for 30 minutes before the nation on the floor of the House, making this point about a month and a half ago. And then we had 2 hearings on drought at our request. And so we're talking about it a lot, but very, very difficult to make it rain. And I wish I could, but in the short term, we'll just be working on trying to find funding.
I do want to ask you, you're now getting involved with the debate over big tech in Washington. What are your thoughts? I believe you're involved with the Republican task force, is that right?
That's correct. I was asked by Kevin McCarthy to serve on the Republican task force on big tech, led by Kathy Morris Rogers, and I'll be working with other members of the judiciary that I work with on judiciary on the subcommittee on antitrust to address big tech issues, and that has to do with communication issues and First Amendment issues, and it's a complex area. I'm very happy to have the opportunity to work within it.
Yeah, it's certainly a big conversation, very partisan topic. Is that something that we will see something happen before the end of this year, or is this going to be some time?
I think we're going to see something happen, but it won't be as a result of my task force, because that's an all-Republican exercise in anticipation of our taking over the House, I hope, in less than a year and a half. And if we're successful then we'll be ready to move forward. In the shorter run, I think my Democrat colleagues are going to be bringing something, and we've been working on that in the last couple of weeks. Exactly what they'll bring forward hasn't yet been finalized.
Remains to be seen. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
No, thank you for this opportunity.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.